Hi everyone, Unfiltered here. So I have used the Fold 7 for about 2 weeks now and I'm ready to share my experience. This thing has been amazing, but there's also been negatives. And because I value your time, let's start with those. Number 1. Not all apps are optimized for what the Fold has to offer. Now, this has been an issue for more years, of course, so a result of that is that I ended up using it more as a regular phone most of the time. If you take an app like Instagram, for example, if you fold open the phone, it's just bigger. And I mean, that's great and all, but I just did not end up using it all that much because it's not easy to carry around like that. Because imagine you're in the gym, it's more of a hassle. Imagine if you're walking down the street, it's more of a hassle and you're scared to drop it like that as the grip is not the best folded open. So I pretty much only use it at home. And yes, even though a lot of apps aren't optimized for it, there are still apps that are. Like WhatsApp, for example, where your chat's overview is in one side and then the chat itself is on the other side. Now, that works great. YouTube, for example, is another one. You can even fold it halfway and operate it with one side while the video is playing on the other. And that's just awesome. The Fold really becomes its own kickstand. You can also multitask yourself and make things the way you want apps to be, which I used a lot when making timestamps on my videos, for example. Now, this is just one random example, but I just wanted to show you the ways you can use this phone to your advantage. I have the video open on one side and then I edit the description on the video on the other side. Or what about watching a live stream while scrolling X? There's just endless options here. But my take is that yes, it is awesome, but for the average user that is interested in a foldable, just really ask yourself, how much would you use it yourself? Second negative, even though blazingly fast, is the fingerprint sensor. Now, when I do work, I hold a mouse in my hand and my hands get sweaty. And I just can't. I've noticed that wet hands or sweaty hands are just the worst with this fingerprint sensor. I cannot make it work for the life of me. And I know you can set a different type of lock too, but I think the fingerprint sensor is the safest of them all. And also what most people will end up using. So I type in my backup code way too many times. Now, this has been a very annoying experience for me. I also set that setting for it to cover and main screens right away because I need it to open up right away. And without wet hands, it works amazingly fast. Now, the fingerprint sensor also doubles as the power button, of course, but that too has been annoying for me. Since when you need it to turn off the phone, it now scans your finger too, and because of that setting I talked about, it's just so fast, sometimes you turn it off only to see it unlock again while you still want to slide it in your pockets. Is that a Fold 7 issue? I don't think so, but it is one of my experiences with it, so I thought I'd share. All these tiny experiences add up to a degree. Of course, choosing a case also has to do with this. That brings me to cases in general for this phone. This year, there haven't been as much cases as I'd hoped. You'd think that one of the most popular folds ever would have a bigger appeal to case makers. But you'd be wrong. And I get it, it's not the easiest of case to pull off and requires a lot of fine-tuning, especially with such a thin and beautiful device as this one. Rocking a case is just not the best experience. But then again, I don't want to go without a case because this device is very expensive. If you're interested in a case for the Fold 7, please check out my top 5 for this device too, as there are still good cases out there. The only positive of rocking a case with this device is that it will get rid of the camera bump, wobble, which will be better on one and even better on another. Because going without a case, you will get annoyed really fast by that camera bump, wobble. Now, my last negative is the camera. And yes, I know it's been upgraded this year, and yes, that is noticeable, but no, it's not the same as the S25 Ultra experience. It went from a 50 megapixel f1.8 main camera to a 200 megapixel f1.7. But the rest stayed more or less the same with some AI adjustments. I noticed it's much better with this one than with the Fold 6, but I just want the S25 Ultra camera on a device that costs this much. And I know we'll get there eventually, but even though upgraded, we're not there yet. So what did I enjoy? Well, the bigger front screen is amazing. It feels like a phone in a phone with such a big front screen. Really enjoyed that experience. I didn't notice it at all now that the front screen used to be smaller, whereas with the Fold 6 that was still an issue you had to get over. Now, this device is just also blazingly fast. Whatever you throw at it, I have not experienced any hiccup or issue. Absolutely amazing performance. So that Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset, which is the most powerful chipset available to Android at the time of making this video, definitely does the job. Both displays are amazing. You get a 6.5 front display with a pixel density of roughly 422 pixels per inch and 120 Hz refresh rate. The folded open screen is also AMOLED 8-inch with 120 Hz as well, and a peak brightness of 2600 nits and a pixel density of around 368 pixels per inch. Now, battery performance was also a topic of discussion, as the Fold is of course very thin and the big screen needs a lot of juice. And just like I said earlier, I haven't used the big screen as much as I hoped. So my experience was actually pretty good. But I can imagine that if you use that bigger screen a lot or you multitask a lot, then it can go pretty fast. For the occasional use, you don't really have to worry at all, and I can get through the day with no issues. So for me, at least, the 4400 mAh battery is enough. So to summarize, if you are on the fence about this device, I'd say really consider and imagine what you'd use it for and how the Fold 7 could help you with that. And if your answer is because it's cool, then that's totally valid too. But I'd say this is mostly for people who really want to have a small tablet idea on the go, without actually having a separate tablet. Of course, this year it also does not have the pen anymore, and that's also a factor, but it's mostly the multitasking that's really useful in my opinion. This could really be a working on-the-go type of device. And for a niche set of people, that will work amazingly. For the average Joe, I think it's still too expensive, much like the AMOLED 4K TVs were in the past. But whatever you do, if you get this phone and pull it out, it's sure to impress a lot of people, since most people have not even seen such a device in the wild yet.